This video is sponsored by Moft. Oh, yes, the new iPhone 15 Pro has finally arrived, and I've got to say, it was worth waiting for. From amazing new features to film in log, to action button joy, productivity hacks, and a couple of secret tips to join this thing up with a couple of other Mac devices you might know. These are my favorite 5 new features of the iPhone 15 that you need to know about. Here's the thing, I haven't upgraded for 5 years, and some of you, if you're coming from the iPhone 14, other than a USB-C cable and a bit of titanium, you might be wondering if this is really worth it. I went for the natural titanium in the normal size, and I've got to say, there are a couple of things here that maybe make it just that. Let's dive into it. So number 1 is the action button. Now, a huge change to the iPhone 15 Pro was, of course, that programmable action button that replaces the silent mute switch. So it also has, if I jump in here to my settings, a bit of an intense design language for the UI to choose what you use for it, but there you go. Now, here are the options. You can do silent mode, which is pretty standard. You can go to a focus mode, so you could pick one of your focus modes. More on that a bit later, on how I've created light and dark modes. We've got, obviously, the camera option, but it will also allow you to select specific options within the camera, a torch, voice memos, and all of that. Okay, it seems like this is a little bit of a small update, but with some thinking, it can really change how you use the iPhone for the better, and that is my favorite part of this menu right here, the shortcuts option. Using this shortcuts option to create a custom button function. Now, a few examples of this might be to create a new task. So I could go new Notion task button, which is pretty cool. It's one of my little shortcuts. So I could add that in, and that would then allow me to drop that in, go back out, and then if I hold the button down, it will jump straight to my Life OS page and allow me to create a new task. And then what's really cool about that is I can just be hitting that button every time I have an idea, jump to it, and then when I want to look, I can look in my to process inbox area and go from there each day. Pretty cool. Now what's great is if I go into shortcuts, you can create whatever you like within this. You can open any app that you might want to open. Maybe I want to set it to my WhatsApps or my Insta360 camera app, whatever you want to do. But you can just create new shortcuts, and the options are endless. So you can work your way through different types of scripting. You could play specific music that you want to listen to. There are loads and loads of options. I recommend getting involved with shortcuts. You've also got a nice accessibility option in here as well. I've seen people using shortcuts to even bring up custom pop-up menus. Let me know in the comments if you've tried this or if you'd like to see a tutorial from me on that soon. Now, I did start using the action button to set it to my camera, but what I found is I just as easily would rather just touch the bottom right corner to bring the camera up. That said, what I have settled on is to use a shortcut to open up the free Blackmagic camera app. We'll cover why this is such a game changer in a bit, but let's just say it's the USB-C port for the Pro models, which is a big part of what has made the iPhone better this year. And on the subject of USB-C options, something like this, which we'll talk about a bit later, allows you to connect a super small USB-C SSD drive, oh, it's a good little hack, to your phone and turn that camera into something that can record ProRes 4K 60 frame per second log footage using Apple Log directly onto the external drive. So it doesn't use any of the storage on your phone. It means that it will essentially go directly onto the drive, and it also makes your workflow of moving files from an iPhone that used to be, AirDrop forever, unplug the drive, stick it in your computer, and away you go. So it makes it a really genuinely serious bit of kit. I'm going to talk more about that later because it is remarkable how this can fit into a professional, or well, attempting to be professional workflow. And you can actually do a lot with the new USB-C port, not just record onto drives. Because the transfer speeds are up to 10 gigabytes per second, it's a great productivity feature, meaning you can attach a USB-C hub to the phone and then run card readers, HDMI monitors, even attach mics like my Wireless Go system. More on that maybe on the channel in the future, so subscribe here if you like great tech and ideas that make your life a little bit better, I guess. Now, before we look at my top ways to make the most of the cameras on the new phone, let's talk about what's actually on my phone. So this is a vegan leather case from Moft, who also sponsored this video, but it was actually a few of their origami-inspired iPhone accessories that really surprised me and changed how I use this phone. Now, Moft sent over their iPhone gift box. Now, it includes this lightweight MagSafe wallet that doubles as a stand, a new invisible tripod, and a carry strap, which is rather cool actually. It kind of sits inside the case. They also have a matching snap battery pack, which I absolutely love, and it will get you a quick daily charge on the phone, which is really satisfying when it turns on. The kit is kind of designed for portable use and creative work by creators, apparently. So with a primary focus on foldability, lightweight design, and it's the little invisible tripod that's graduated to being a permanent fixture on the back of my setup. It has to be the smallest, most versatile tripod I have ever used. It's not your traditional tripod. It will attach impressively with a very powerful magnet to the phone, and it's the minimal but multifunctional design that I really like. So I can use it as a quick stand, I can rotate the thing really simply, and you can put it up into floating mode for like vlogging and various other things. So I'm really liking the floating mode for filming or watching content, or in stand mode to quickly view stuff hands-free. It's great for video calls alongside a computer, but actually I've probably used it most for, well, watching YouTube on the train or filming myself for the channel quickly and easily. Perhaps the best thing about the tripod though is the compact and lightweight design. You barely notice it's there, you can keep it on the phone, and it's there when you need it, making it a great portable travel companion. When you need it most, you can just flip it out and away you go. So this is the Misty Cove colorway, which is a great match to the titanium phone. It seems to be holding up really well after a month of hard use, and I'm super happy with those minimal vibes. But they also have a bunch of other bright colorways if you want to check them out in the link in the description. Now, before we jump into maximizing that ridiculously good film and stills camera you now seem to have in your pocket, I now often use this phone for video calls whilst I'm on my computer, or to link my iPhone to the computer for a continuity camera option. Just make sure that your Mac and iPhone are signed in on the same account, and if in range, you should see the option on your Mac in, say, FaceTime or Zoom pop up to use the iPhone as your camera, along with a load of other cool features that seem to come with it. So check out my Maxonoma video for more tips and tricks next maybe. So let's look more at my favorite tips and accessories for filming on the iPhone. It's the Pro model's ability to film in log color profiles that truly make this phone a new tool for daily use on a channel, or in a bit more of a serious way, right? As a portable filming setup. I'm thinking of reverse engineering a sticky MagSafe adapter to attach something like the Samsung tiny SSD drives, or this, the Crucial's X9 Pro SSD. This is a gorgeous, tiny, and very fast little SSD that I found recently that I genuinely think challenges those SanDisk and Samsung alternatives. What's really cool is it's a super easy hack to attach to a phone for some ProRes log recording in your pocket. So let's talk about that Blackmagic app. It's a no-brainer if you are serious or even interested in filming great footage on your phone. So the two key advantages of using the Blackmagic app are, first, that it offers pro video features, like being able to set the frame rate, so we can set that and lock that off. You can lock off your shutter speed, you can lock off your ISO and your white balance, so that's all going to make a massive difference. The other great option in here is the option to use a display LUT. This is like a lookup table, and it means that you are able to lay this over flat log footage when you're filming, just in the monitor, so you can actually see more what it's likely to look like. A really helpful little tool. But second, and probably my favorite addition to this system, is in Record, the option to first record the color space in Apple Log, but to actually output with a codec that isn't that massive Apple ProRes 422 file. So that's all you can do on the native camera app. But in this, we have the option to output something like ProRes 422 LT, which is much more condensed. Or if you even want to go into like H.265 or H.264, you have that option. So for YouTubers, content creators, social media usage, this is massive because it allows you to get the great advantages of flat, color gradable log footage without the huge ProRes file sizes. So I fundamentally recommend this amazing Blackmagic app to get some proper usage out of your camera, and it's free. Amazing. So let's talk home screen layout and focus modes. The next tip for making the most out of your iPhone is about the layout of your home screen to minimize those distractions so that you can focus on the important stuff. Now, I always think people should be putting their most used apps down the bottom third where you can reach them easily with your thumb. I've actually moved all mine up and disappeared my dock, more on that in a moment, to really keep it simple. But this is really worth checking out, and I consider the bottom third the important place. I've loaded my custom icon packs onto this phone, if you're wondering why it looks like this, and the main reason for this, other than it looking proper cool and minimal, is actually about focus. I found that I'm much better at avoiding those social media apps when they don't have the title on them and when the design is all a little bit simpler like this. I'm not as easily drawn in. I also love my little focus mode hack to create a couple of different things in here. Now, for example, if you go into focus mode, they're really worth looking at because you're able to set specific wallpapers and link them to specific pages that you might have created in your system. And you can also limit who calls, who can get to you, who you want to be able to speak to in, say, work or personal mode, as well as the apps that you can access. And it also means you can limit notifications, which is really great. I've used it to create light and dark mode designs. I use a little shortcut automation to flick between it. It'll even do it automatically at a certain time of the day. Now, I have a full video on customizing your iPhone you can watch next over here. I'll link it. And if you want to try some of this customization stuff and you like the look of these icon, cover and widget packs that include things like this disappeared dock, you'll find my packs and covers in the links below if you want to download them. Now, I also recommend checking out the smart widget options that are now available in iOS 17. Now, this is worth taking seriously, and the main reason is that widgets are now actually interactive on Apple, finally, right? But it means I can do things like click and edit notes, I can use reminders, and one of my favorites that I recommend checking out is a favorite alternative called Minimalist, which you can check out in my recent iPad video. It's rather good. Now, as a bonus little feature for you, we should smash the BackTap. Here is another great time saver. So I'm going to open up the phone and I'm going to go into settings. And what I want you to do is go into accessibility, and then you want to slide into touch. And down the bottom, you'll see BackTap. Now, the BackTap function is not something everyone knows about, but you'll see there is a double tap and a triple tap. I find the double tap can accidentally trigger sometimes, so be aware of that. But let's just show an example. If I go into triple tap, I can set 3 little taps on the back of the phone to create something to happen. So it could be to bring up your torch, it could be to bring up a spotlight search, maybe it's to turn on a certain controller or maybe a camera. But what's really cool is you can particularly do this for any shortcut you've created. And that could involve opening an app. So I've set mine to open the Insta360 app for when I want to film on a gimbal. So if I close this up and triple tap, and it opens the app. How cool is that? Now, you might want to use this for a journaling function, a quick note-taking option. It's a really great way to do quick productivity hacks. And one more little detail that you might love is this. If, let's say, you don't go and transform your phone with a load of icons, but you do just want to be a little less distracted occasionally, you can set up this button, the power button, and triple tap that to send it to black and white. So when you don't want to be distracted by those, let's face it, those very colourful and very attractive social media apps, you can just triple click, and when you want your colour back, triple click again. Cool, right? Cheers, Pepper. Now, the final thing you might want to do is make your iPhone look like this. Make sure you check out my icon and cover pack designs and full packs that you can download in the description below. And there's a full video of how to do customization on an iPhone here. Or check out this video for some great Mac accessories that truly make your life better. It would be amazing if you subscribed if you haven't, wicked if you left a like below, and I'd better get back to creating with this. See ya.